Hey guys, good morning. Today I want to do in this video, I want to talk about brand new 100% financing for fix and flip only. It's not for refinancing. It's not for a DSCR. It's not for purchasing an already done house. So you can do a burr with it, meaning you can buy, renovate, rent, refinance, repeat, which I'm going to show you the math on that. You could buy, fix, and flip 100% financing. What I want to do is explain to you, what it is and what it's not, and give you a little background here. First off, I think there's a very unique product that, in my career, almost 30 years, products come and go, so I can tell you right now, I don't know anybody else that does 100% financing. So this is why I'm doing a video about it because it's that big of a deal. That being said, there has been 100% financing in my career. The most recent time was probably before 2008, and you know what happened there. But anyway, um, there was even 115% financing where they were like, hey, we don't even want you to have to pay your closing costs. It was a crazy time. But, during the ups and downs of real estate and the financial markets and the banks, basically, they pull different levers. And this is a lever that when it's there, you can really add to your rental portfolio. You can also flip too if you want to do. But if you're adding, I'm a rental guy. If you're adding to your rental portfolio, what I want to tell you is just remember every house that you buy that is a rental property, right? If it cash flows, that's amazing. But the most important thing is you're adding another asset to your asset sheet. It's another lottery ticket, I call that. If you have 10 properties, and let's say you don't cash flow, all these properties cash flow that I'm showing that are specifically one of my partners is doing in Cleveland. Um, but let's say they didn't. If you picked up 10 houses this way with a $100,000, and we'll do the math and see if that makes sense. I think that does make sense. You could probably pick up 10 houses this way. Those 10 houses, if you didn't cash flow and they do cash flow, in 5 years, it is not obscene to think that those 10 houses could be worth, let's say they're $100,000 houses, 50,000 each more. That's not obscene at all. So that's $500,000 that you could make with $100,000. That's like a 500% return. Like it's insane. It must be done. If you are looking to buy rentals, you should be leveraging like this. So let me just show you a couple Excel examples. And if you have any questions about this, you can DM me, say, I want to talk about the 100%. I mean, I think it's something that's really going to help a lot of us. And if you don't have um, people that can help you, let me know. You can buy in other markets. If you're in California and, you're not going to cash flow because the rents aren't beating the 1% rule, then you can buy in Cleveland and you can buy in Alabama and you can buy other places. I can help you find the people to work with in those markets. But let me just get down to these are a couple Cleveland examples. I just want to show you what this thing is. So, some people, these are two examples. Let's look at one here. This is a single family in Cleveland. So you would be buying it for $50,000. The renovation is 55,000. So don't worry about who's going to renovate it, this, that, and the other thing. If you wanted to buy, these particular deals or something like this, I can refer you to somebody that handles everything in Cleveland. So they got the contractor, they can find the deals for you, et cetera, et cetera. So you're buying it for 50, put 55,000 into it. If you're in California and you want to do the math, I don't know that if there's an operator that has this 100% financing, you just do it. It's 500,000 plus 550,000, anyway, 50,000 plus 55,000. You got some closing costs. Ohio is very cheap, doesn't have transfer taxes, so the closing cost is $1,500. You got some points. You have to pay the lender fees for that loan. This is 2.5%. So it's 2,600. But the lender will give you 100% of the purchase and 100% of the renovation. So to go to a closing to buy this house right now in Cleveland would only cost you $4,000. That's insane. 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 Like a kid 19 out of college could do that. If you're not doing it yourself and you're an experienced investor, you're crazy. Next, now, if you're going to keep this property and do a BRRRR, let's do the math. You're going to have to spend more than this $4,000 because a DCSR, a DSCR loan, or any kind of loan that's longer term, 30-year mortgage, et cetera, they're not going to give you 100% financing on the back. They're going to give you 75% of the appraised value. Now you're buying this thing effectively, for 105 plus closing costs. This property will appraise for 141. So you're going to benefit from the built-in equity of the property. So you will get a new loan at 75% of this appraised value. That's 105, but your cost is 109. So your new long-term loan, 30-year loan. So you got a loan to get in, to fix it and renovate it. It only costs you $4,000 to close it. But now, after you've done that, these are like 1-year loans, and they don't take 1 year for you to do this. You could do this in, let's say, worst case, 6 months, right? You could do 2 of these a year, which is ridiculous. I would be doing 20. I would maybe do 30. I mean, you can really, with this kind of financing, before you know it, you could have 30 houses. It's insane. So, now you get a loan for 105, but you're all out of pocket here, 109, which is the 105 loan plus the 4,000 you brought to closing, right? So the new loan, you're going to have to pay some fees. I have 3% for a new loan. So you pay for a loan twice. You pay the fix and flip loan, you pay the refinance loan. So that's going to cost you $3,000. And interest, now this fix and flip is at basically 10% for 6 months, which for fix and flip, hard money, short term, flip is nothing, right? Anyway, 6 months of that is going to cost you $5,000. So I want to account for every possible thing in here. So at the end of the day, in 6 months, when you refinance, this is not 4,000 plus 12,000. It's 12. You'll be $12,000 out of pocket to do this deal and have yourself a rental property, right? So let me just show you kind of what the math looks like for that. Now, this is a rental property, rents $1,300. I put every single expense you could put in here: management fees, rental license, property taxes in Cleveland. This is why I love Cleveland, and if you don't know, I'm a big fan of Cleveland. Property taxes are $744. It's insane, right? There's no utilities, have repairs. Repairs is an estimate. This is not like a number you're going to have right off the bat. And if you have a new property, hopefully this will be less, but I estimate 5%. And then vacancy, also, you might not, you put a tenant in there, you might not have a vacancy for a year, 2 years, 3 years, depends on if you do Section 8, depends on how good your tenant is. But I put it in here anyway. And then insurance, $900. So basically, you're going to get $900 in cash flow after all your expenses per month over here. That's a 10% cap rate. And if you know anything about cap rates, and that's a real cap rate that has vacancy repairs in it. That's insane numbers. That's also why I like Cleveland. This is a 3-bedroom, 1-bath. This mortgage for $105,000 at 7% for 30 years, principal and interest is $704. So you will have cash flow of $200 per month, which is a cash on cash return of 20%. So let me summarize this. If you have a $12,000, you can buy $100,000 property with equity already. I wasn't even talking about appreciation, that I think will be a $200,000 property in 5 years. So with $12,000, you get into the game. It cash flows because you put every single expense in here. You can't tell me, hey, I'm going to need a roof, I'm going to need a heater. This is a $55,000 renovation. This is a new house, right? Boom, boom, boom. You got $200 a month cash flow. These are just estimates. If you take these out, it's 162. You got $400 a month cash flow. But be conservative, estimate that kind of stuff. And you can make 20% on your money even if you had repairs and vacancy. Where are you going to make 20% on your money? That's not Bitcoin. It doesn't go up and down. That's a hard asset that also gives you a tax write-off. It's insane. So if I had $120,000, obviously I do. Let's just say I already have 10 of these loans. Once I saw this, I already have 10 of these loans in process, right? And I will do as many. If I could do 100 right now, I would do 100. But, you got to start with people, with these lenders, and have to see what you can do. Anyway, if this is not enough cash flow for you, you can do like a duplex. Here's a duplex, also in East Cleveland. Um, you know, I'm not going to rehash all the numbers here. You can look at it. Basically, cost you $6,000 to close, but it would cost you 28,000 in total because of, the ARV here is not much higher. Is not, well, you have built-in equity. You're buying it basically for 125, but it's worth 150. So you got 25,000 built-in equity, but they're only going to loan you 112. So anyway, in this case, for a duplex, you're out of pocket more money, $28,000. But what are we talking about? Most people that are doing burrs, they need $120,000 to do one. So let me go back to this one. This one, with $120,000, you can do 10 of these at one time. You could do 10 of them. Most people do burrs. They would use that 120,000. They would pay 50 to buy it, 55 to close it, 1,500 in closing costs. Now they wouldn't have interest in this, that, and the other thing. And if that's what you want to do, you can do that. But you're doing one at a time, and I'm doing 10. So do you want to do one or do you want to do 10? Anyway, the reason why you wouldn't mind having 28,000 out of pocket on this particular one is obviously as a duplex, the rent is higher. I put all the expenses in here. You do have to pay water on this property. So I have every expense in here. Management fee, license for two units, property tax are a little bit higher, $900 a year, ridiculous. You have to pay water on this thing. You don't have to pay the other utilities. And on a single, you never have to pay any utilities. I estimated repairs, estimated vacancy, have the insurance. This thing has a cap rate over 11%. Insane. The mortgage on here is only going to be a couple bucks more because it doesn't appraise as much. So your cash flow with $250 of contingency expenses that might not happen is $500 a month. It's a 21% cash on cash return. So these are just fantastic deals. If you guys are interested in these, just DM me, Cleveland, DM me 100%. If you're just interested in 100%, I can tell you what states they'll do it, what partners I have there that can do it for you. But why buy one house when you can buy 10? I mean, there's really nothing else I can say to that. Why buy one house when you can buy 10 and 10 right now? And if you just want to see what the process is like, just see what the process is like. It costs $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 to do one and get in the game. It's insane. So hope this helps you. What it is it really is 100% financing. That doesn't mean that you get no money out of pocket. You still need to pay closing costs. You still need to pay interest on the loan. You still need to pay refinance costs. You still need to pay some points, but it's nothing. It's nothing. So anyway, I'm really excited about it. Hope you guys like this. Hope it gave you some educational stuff. If you're interested, I can also send you spreadsheets like this to help you. If you have any other questions, let me know. And I hope you have the best day of your life. Thanks, guys.